then with the collection of these different neurons, so what we just saw was a single neuron, but output of one neuron can be the input of another neuron, right? So this complex, this creates a complex neural network, and that is how, why it is called as the neural network. In this case, I'm only explaining a simple neural network where you have an input layer, then you have some bunch of hidden layers. So what is hidden layer? Hidden layer will receive the input from the input layers, and then it will pass its output to the output layer. So this is just a simple neural feed, just a simple neural network with the one hidden layer. It can, a neural network can have many hidden layers. The deeper the neural network and the more the data, the better the neural network will learn. So keep that in mind. Okay, more the data you have, the deeper the neural networks. Okay, it should not be very deep, but it should be fairly deep enough. Okay, and in computer vision we have a lot of deep neural networks where we have more than hundreds and 150 hidden layers to classify objects and things like that. Even speech recognition also, the networks that do speech recognition are really very deep. Now let's see the purpose. So what is the purpose of the neural nets or any machine learning algorithm? What is the purpose of it? The purpose is to draw a line, right? Is to find a function that this line is. Basically it wants to draw fence, right? If let's say you have two things, you have cucumbers and you have tomatoes, and you want to classify that cucumber between tomatoes, you will draw a line, right? That at this side you have tomatoes, at this side you have cucumbers. Let's say this x1 is our feature, and this feature is based upon, I can say, some, maybe you can take the mass. Okay, the mass of cucumbers will be, yeah, unfortunately I got muted for a while, so I'll just speak that again. I didn't realize that. Yeah, so let's say this x1 is the mass, and the tomatoes are on the left side, are maybe on the lighter side, and cucumbers are on the higher side. So we have two classes. So the any machine learning algorithm or any deep learning algorithm will create a fence around it to clear out the boundary, and that boundary will tell that these are the class A and these are the class B, just to label. So here we will discuss a little bit about feed forward neural nets. So as I explained you that uh, a neural network is a combination of different perceptron. So how a feed forward neural network is, so there is only one condition in the feed forward neural nets. So right now we are going into the types of neural nets. So as you now know a little bit about what is a perceptron, and a collection of perceptron create neural nets. So now we have different kinds of neural nets, like we have feed forward neural nets, we have RNNs, we have LSTMs, we have GRUs. So all these will have different specifications. And what are the specification? Basically the architecture of a neural network will define what kind of neural network it is. Any questions here? Great. uh, okay, so what happens in feed forward neural nets? The architecture is like this, that no neuron will pass its output to the this will pass its output again to the input of any neuron. I'll try to make it a little bit easier to understand. You see that this neuron, let's say x1, it in input layer, or is passing its outputs to all the three neurons, right? And these neurons, let's say this particular neuron is passing its output to this 0 and 1, but this output cannot be again fed to the previous hidden layer. So basically there will be there will be only forward passing of the outputs. Okay, so this is how a feed forward neural net works, and it is also called sequential neural nets. Will only be fed to the another neuron that is ahead of it. All right, so this is how a feed forward neural network. And where it is used majorly in the simple classification and regression tasks. Okay, when you have problems like time series analysis or some forecasting, that's where different complex, or we can say not complex, but different architectures are getting used. But when more or less when numerical data is present, when you have, let's say, 10-15 features, when the features are limited and there is one output to predict whether it is a classes to predict or is a continuous number, you majorly use feed forward neural nets and it will give you fairly good results. That here is the fraud detection. So this is the application of feed forward neural nets. So what happens in fraud detection? See, uh, I hope you, like, a lot of you will be familiar about it, like how banking companies do. What they do is they will give you they track each and every customer credit card. So when there is a huge transaction, let's say earlier your transaction was around 1000 rupees or 2000 or 10,000 or 15,000. Okay, it was in some range, and then again at some day you did you did a huge transaction that comes in the radar of the like model that you have deployed, right? So at that point, if that transaction is fake or a fraud, that will be detected. So these kind of places, and the data at this point of time is like customer name, customer address, right? Customer previous transaction history, and then customer location, customer gender, what whoever person is using that credit card, right? So all these are your features. And why I have highlighted some things, some neurons like this, because only few neurons will capture some important information. Okay, not all neurons. So let's say if a if there is a real customer, means if the trans I have given two examples here. So if the first example will show you like how will what will happen when there will be a real transaction. It is not a fraud transaction. So you can see that h21 will be activated and the output of h21 will be very high as compared to the output of h22. So here we will apply sigmoid, and the output of both will be become in the range of 0 to 1, right? I told you earlier, sigmoid will create your output, any output you give to sigmoid, it will do it in the range of 0 to 1. So this h21 will be higher, it will be 0 0.8, 0 0.9 or 0 0.92, 0.88, and h22 will be lesser. Basically, idea of explaining here is the different neurons are learning different things. For example, this particular neuron h21 is learning whether the transaction is real or not, and this particular neuron h22 is learning whether the transaction is fraud. So there are two things, right? Real and fraud. So that's why there are two neurons to and there are then basically all the feature extraction is happening inside. So this features at x21 there will be some values calculated here, so that will be the features for these two neurons. Okay, but that's not what we see in machine learning. And for feed forward neural networks, problem like fraud detection really work very well.